What's up guys, it's Will here, back again, and today we're here to do something very exciting, and that is to go over what makes a Hot Toys collection truly great, show some examples, and of course look for areas of growth within our own collection. Guys, before we get started, make sure to click that like button, click that subscribe button, and click that notification bell so you are notified when content goes live on this channel. That said, let's get introspective and discuss greatness. All right, guys, so thank you so much for joining me for another video today. And like I mentioned, the goal of today is to go over what makes a Hot Toys collection truly great. And of course, as always, I know you will have your own belief structures, so feel free to comment those below. Let me know what makes a Hot Toys collection exceptional to you. What do you think are the most important pillars of Hot Toys collecting? I'm interested to hear your thoughts as well. So I want you to start by thinking of your favorite story. Now think of your favorite character from that story. It's probable that that character underwent some sort of fundamental change that changed their characterization as an individual, right? So I want you to think about your Hot Toys collecting and your overall journey in the same fashion. Hot Toys collecting is a fluid process, so your interests, your goals, and your collecting strategies, those are likely to change over time as your circumstances change. So you should try to avoid feeling lesser than because someone else has a bigger collection than you, but rather focus on what makes your collection great and identify areas for improvement. So let's get started with my first suggestion. Stop chasing everyone else. In most contexts, comparing ourselves to others does generally more harm than good. In certain contexts, it does make sense, such as business where you're comparing yourself to competitors and your overall performance, but insofar as collecting is concerned, it's not the area to compare ourselves. Your collection is yours, and it can never be someone else's, unless they steal it or something, but even then, it's not really theirs. Taking inspiration from a fellow collector is great, but we should really avoid comparing our collection sizes as if we're measuring something else, because collection size is truly a personal pursuit. And while you may look at others' collections and admire them, you shouldn't try to replicate them because this often leads to reckless decision making. So what makes a Hot Toys in 6 scale collection truly great? Well, there's a lot of things. The first thing that makes a collection great is that it's unapologetically you. When someone walks into your collection room, every piece within it should be something you can passionately justify. It's important that every piece is actually meaningful to you, because if not, why is it there? Are you collecting something because you feel like you should, or because maybe you feel like the community needs you to, or are you jumping aboard that hype train, which can also be very dangerous? The thing that's going to help your longevity as a collector is feeling excited when you look at every collectible you own. The more figures you own that are meaningless, the less excited you're going to feel about the process of collecting. Your collection is an artistic representation of you, and the characters, stories, and pieces you choose are really important. One of the hallmarks of a great collection is organization. Think about it in simple terms. Is a disorganized life better or more preferable than an organized one? Is a disorganized room better or more preferable than an organized room? Why would Hot Toys collecting be any different? One of the most overlooked elements of building a great Hot Toys collection is displaying a great Hot Toys collection. Once you're done watching this video, I've linked some videos in the description that explain best display cases and practices for displaying your Hot Toys in 6 scale collection. So again, make sure to check that out when you're done with this video. But long story short, you're going to need to invest in your forever displays. But on the topic of organization, what I've seen work very well is organization by theme. For example, you may have a Marvel case or a Star Wars case. Hell, you may even have a sub theme like all the figures from Avengers in one case. That part is entirely up to you. But our brains are naturally drawn to order. An orderly collection will make you feel more satisfied because it takes more effort to be orderly than not. The next tip is putting actual effort into your posing. To be honest, this is a realm that all of us 6 scale collectors can include in, myself included. Putting effort into your posing is so important because it represents the personality of the figure. If the pose has no personality, then neither does the figure. Good posing is difficult to pin down because it's an art form and therefore subjective by nature. Why do you think Hot Toys, InArt, and other figure manufacturers put so much effort into their posing when marketing their figures? Because they know if the poses suck ass, you're not going to buy the figure. So if your pose sucks ass, why would you enjoy your collection as much as if it didn't? So put effort into your poses and you will reward yourself with a collection that looks amazing. You can choose a combination between dynamic poses and character-driven stoic poses. That part is entirely up to you. So next up is the process of curation. Curation is simply the process whereby you narrow down your collection to the best, most valuable, important pieces to you that will make you happy in the end. The resulting number of figures you will own can vary greatly by collector, and there's no right or wrong answer, but regardless of your solution, it's best if each figure has a bit of room to breathe. Allowing each figure to be appreciated appreciated is the goal. If you start to have figures covered by other figures where you can't really appreciate what you have fully, I find that to be less than ideal. Placing a little bit of space between each figure, even a few inches, can make a world of difference in making your display look classy and uncluttered. You remember what they said at dances in middle school: leave room for Jesus. This is no different. Next up is the act of settling. Whether it be in dating or Hot Toys collecting, we need to stop settling. Sometimes the character you want is released, and it's simply not up to par, but we buy it anyway because we want representation. Well, the problem with this is that it stands out among your other surrounding figures, and not in a good way. Think about it. If you have a band and your guitarist is simply not able to keep up with the rest of the band, does that make your band better or worse? If our goal was to spend our hard-earned money just to buy something that blends in, shouldn't we instead focus and devote that money to something that stands out remarkably? But now it's time to talk about diversity. Hear me out on this one. What I mean by that is diversity in IP. I think a collection that has more representation is a little more dynamic and interesting to me. This one is much more of a personal preference than anything. I mean, some people like chocolate milk, some people like 2% milk, some people like oat milk. Those people would be right. But at the end of the day, this one is really going to come down to your personal preference. There's nothing wrong with only liking and only collecting Star Wars, but when I see other universes represented, I think there's more for others to engage with. Ultimately, you're collecting for you, and you shouldn't buy anything solely for diversity's sake, but if you are passionate about other stories, you can build a display that's a little more well-rounded and one that's more likely to be enjoyed by a broader spectrum of people. From an aesthetic perspective, I also just think it looks cool to have different types of characters displayed. It keeps things from being stale or too uniform. The next thing I want to discuss is the pursuit of meaningful, iconic representation. You know how there's a new iPhone released every single year? Well, Hot Toys ain't that different. Technology has a functional use to it, but with Hot Toys, there's different versions of the same characters every year pretty much. Now, this does obviously vary by character. You ain't getting like a new Valkyrie announcement every year or a new Nebula, but for big characters like Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader, it's likely you're going to see different versions announced or released even, if not every year, every other year. It's so easy to chase the shiny new thing, and I'm going to surprise some people with what I'm about to say here, but sometimes it makes sense to do so. Collecting at its core is a pursuit of fun. What's more fun than having the newest, most exciting, best version of something? This does have its limit though. If the new version is not meaningful to you or you don't find it to be iconic, don't go chasing it. However, if you find it to be far better than what you currently have, and it would make your collection better and more exciting to you, you should pursue it. Having what you perceive to be the most iconic, definitive Hot Toys figure of your favorite characters can be a very satisfying feeling. And that type of dopamine will make the process of collecting more enjoyable for you more consistently. Stop me if you've heard this one before. But the next thing I want to discuss is the philosophy of buy nice or buy twice. Buy nice or buy twice refers to the consumer philosophy that you should buy the nicest version of the thing you're searching for that you can reasonably afford based on the availability at the time. A lot of the collections have, simply put, the best licensed or attainable unlicensed figures available. This includes commonly perceived definitive versions of characters and iconic representations of beloved franchises. It is never going to be a competition, but if you want to build the best collection for you, you can certainly start by buying the nicest pieces available that you can reasonably afford. And there you have it, guys. Those are my tips and strategies for success for building the best Hot Toys collection that you can. So guys, if you like this video, make sure to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. If you dislike this video, you can still comment down below. Let me know where you agreed with me. Let me know where you disagree with me. What have you found in your collecting journey to be helpful in terms of your strategy? What has helped you build a collection that you're proud of? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below because your experience may be very different from my own. I tried to make this as general as possible, but at the end of the day, there's going to be, personal philosophy built into all of these videos. Everyone's going to be different in how they approach these things. So I would love to hear your guys' philosophy in the comments below. Again, make sure to like the video down below, subscribe to the channel, and of course, click that notification bell so you are notified when content goes live on this channel. Because guys, there's news, reviews, live streams. You aren't going to want to miss any of it if you're a big 6-scale Hot Toys, in art, whatever the case may be for your collection. All of that's going to happen on this channel. Guys, thank you so much for the support as always. I will catch you in the next video. Peace out. See you later. Bye.